Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and another video from the book Tech Pain, which is the accessory muscles of use, which we'll talk about. When we're sitting, we're talking about posture, standing posture. These muscles that get used that aren't necessarily primary movers. We call them accessory muscle groups that will provide some benefit in holding your posture and improving the way you feel, but not necessarily, again, the muscles that get used on a continuous basis. So I'm going to give you 5 exercises today. Again, when we give you more than a couple exercises, it does become a little bit more difficult, as to how many people will actually do. So these 5, if you get through a couple of them, great. There are going to be some stretching, some strengthening exercises, but pretty simplistic in the nature of the exercises. But really, the benefit you'll see is how it actually holds the pelvis and the spine and improves the feeling of your posture. So the first one is going to be a lat stretch. So all we're going to do is we're going to take a chair. So it can be an office chair, it can be a kitchen chair, dining room chair, whatever it may be. Okay. What we're going to do is we get into the kneeling position, and ideally what you'll do is you'll sit your hips back. You're going to grab a hold underneath the armrest, and then you'll just stretch into here. And what we're really going to stretch is you're going to stretch through the latissimus dorsi muscle here through the upper back. Okay, so we're going to hold this stretch for about 30 seconds to a minute. You can do this a couple of times. All right, really the goal here is to stretch the muscle that comes from the low back up through the side here and up into the front of the arm. So we get out of this rounded shoulder posture and we get into that nice open spine stretch position. Okay, so again, holding that 30 seconds to a minute. You can do that a bunch of times. We'll get the chair out of the way. Next exercise that you're going to do is going to be a bridge. Okay, so this is just where you're going to lay down flat on the floor. Again, very similar to on the towel roll. This time we're not going to have the towel roll here. What you're going to do is just going to lift the hips up, so squeezing the glutes, lifting up, getting flat tummy through here. What you're going to do with this is just kind of strengthen the glutes, strengthen the hamstrings, come on back down. Set a timer for a minute. You'll hold this for a couple of seconds, come on back down. You'll repeat until that timer goes off. Super simple, okay, easy enough. Once we're in this position, then we can go into a stretch, which is more for the piriformis, so the muscle that attaches from the sacrum or the tailbone out to the outside of the hip. What we can do is bring this up towards our knee. All right, that's one variation, or the knee up towards our chest rather. That's one variation. We can bring the knee towards the opposite shoulder. That's another variation. Again, since this is a stretch, you're going to hold this 30 seconds to a minute. You can repeat the other side. All right, if you're not flexible enough, you can kind of just get to here. You don't have to bring the leg all the way up if you can't. Okay, you can always bring the other leg up if you wanted to put it up against a wall, and then kind of scoot your rear end in. Again, just another variation of that stretch. We got 2 more exercises. The one is going to be side lying. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to just bring your heel. So you're going to point the toe down. You're going to bring the heel up. So rotate the hip forward, heel up. You're going to feel that in that back pocket area. Okay, this is a hip abduction exercise. Again, helps to stabilize the pelvis. You can flip over to the opposite side. Again, set a timer for a minute. Do 1 to 3 sets of these. Nice strengthening exercises for the glutes. And then you can go ahead and lay down on your stomach, and you're going to just raise the leg up behind you. This is a glute hip exercise, hip extension exercise. Again, nice for working the muscles that are too often unused when we're sitting. Okay, so hitting into the glutes. All right, so doing that, again, setting time for a minute, going to the other side. There's lots of different variations that you can do. Unfortunately, with sitting, we get what's called glute atrophy, where the muscles in the buttocks, muscles in the hips just waste away because of the sitting. They're just not getting used. And so because of that, the hip flexors get tight. That's the next video that will show you. Once the hip flexors get tight, it's called disuse atrophy. The muscles just waste away. So in order to prevent that, we need to stretch them because sometimes they'll get tight because there isn't enough strength in them, and then we need to build those muscles up. So super simple. You don't need anything other than some equipment that you've already got, which is kind of a chair, then body weight. Do those. You can do those daily. right? For the first couple of weeks, get yourself conditioned to them, and after that, a maintenance program could be as simple as 1 to 3 times a week to ensure that you're continuing on with the strength, the flexibility in the hips, and again, you should see an increase in your posture, improvement in how you feel, and again, no need to go in and see somebody for something that you can take care of yourself. So if you've got questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll be happy to get back to you, and thanks for watching.